All right, let's talk about construction safety, but we're not just going to rehash the basics of hard hats and high-vis vests. Today, we're going beyond simple compliance to really explore what a modern, proactive strategy looks like, one that genuinely saves lives. So let's get into it. Every single incident on a job site has a story behind it, a sequence of events that led to someone getting hurt. In this explainer, we're going to show you how to rewrite that story, how to shift from just reacting to injuries to proactively stopping them from ever happening in the first place. So why is this shift so incredibly urgent? Well, let's take a look at the real-world impact of construction hazards. The numbers, well, they tell a stark and, frankly, pretty worrying story. Take a look at this number, 33,200. What's that? That's the number of non-fatal musculoskeletal disorders. We're talking sprains, strains, the kind of injuries from lifting and carrying that were serious enough to cause days away from work in construction. And that was just between 2021 and 2022 alone. But the impact doesn't stop there. 13, that's the median number of days a worker is off the job trying to recover. Just think about that for a second. That's nearly 2 full weeks of lost wages for an individual, and for a project, it creates this massive ripple effect. Delayed timelines, strained budgets, lost productivity. And what's really alarming is the trend. Yeah, this chart really shows how things are getting worse. These injuries aren't just common, their impact is growing. If you go back to 1992, the median recovery time was 8 days. By 2017, it had jumped all the way to 13. So people aren't just getting hurt, they're staying off the job for a lot longer. Okay, so how do we start to reverse this trend? Well, it all begins with a rock-solid foundation of safety essentials. Let's dig into the non-negotiable basics that every single site has to have in place. These 7 principles right here, they're the bedrock of any safety program that actually works. And it's about so much more than just having rules. It's about creating a culture where safety is a core value. That means training that actually sticks, providing the right PPE, and this part is key, celebrating the successes to reinforce good behavior and build that team morale. And speaking of PPE, a recent OSHA rule change really highlights a critical detail. PPE has to properly fit each employee. This is not just about comfort. As OSHA points out, gear that doesn't fit well might be totally useless, or even worse, it could create new dangers, like a loose glove getting caught in a machine. Bottom line, fit matters. A lot. Another piece of that foundational safety is emergency readiness. For eye wash and shower stations, the standards are incredibly precise, and they are non-negotiable. They have to be reachable within 10 seconds of a hazard, that's about 55 feet. They need to provide a full 15 minutes of continuous flushing with tepid water. Following these rules can literally be life-saving. So once that foundation is in place, the next step is to build active life-saving skills. This is all about giving your team the specific knowledge they need to prevent those high-stakes disasters before they can even happen. A perfect example is fall clearance. Now, it sounds technical, but it's one of the most critical concepts in fall protection. It's the absolute minimum space needed to stop a fall before the worker hits something below. So how in the world do you calculate it? Well, it's not guesswork, that's for sure. The calculation depends on these 3 key variables you see here: the height of the anchor point, the worker's horizontal distance from the edge, and the anchor's distance back from that edge. Getting this calculation right is literally the difference between a fall protection system that works and one that fails catastrophically. Here's another piece of active knowledge that's so simple, so memorable, and incredibly effective. In the event of a fire, remembering the PASS method can stop a small incident from becoming an absolute disaster. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. It's the kind of training that builds muscle memory for those really high-pressure situations. Okay, we've covered the foundation and the active skills. Now let's look at the future of safety. This is where we use technology and new strategies to actually predict and prevent incidents before they even get a chance to happen. This slide shows the shift perfectly. The old way of managing heat stress, it relied on fixed break times and workers noticing their own symptoms, which, let's be honest, is often when it's already too late. The new approach uses wearable technology that monitors a worker's body in real time, sending alerts to supervisors before that worker is in the danger zone. It's a total game changer. Now, if you're wondering about the return on investment for that kind of tech, just look at this number. According to OSHA's own estimator, nearly $80,000 is the approximate cost of a single heat-related workplace injury. That cost isn't just medical bills. It's project delays, insurance hikes, and potential fines. All of a sudden, proactive prevention doesn't just look smart, it looks incredibly cost-effective. And the ultimate proactive strategy? Bringing healthcare directly to the job site. An on-site clinic is so much more than just an emergency room. It's a strategic hub for things like proactive health screenings, crucial mental health support, and preventing minor issues from ever becoming major, recordable incidents. So, as we've seen, a truly modern safety strategy is really built in 3 layers. It all starts with that solid foundation of compliance. Then it builds up with the active knowledge of your team, and it's all topped off with the predictive power of modern technology. And this brings us to the final question, one that every safety manager and company leader should be asking. Are your protocols just meeting yesterday's standards, or are you actively engineering a safer, more predictive, and more resilient future for your workforce? The answer to that could make all the difference.